just provide a second year video of the Intex pool that we purchased. This is the 18 feet by 9 feet by, I believe, about 54 inches tall pool. I have some pictures here. I know at least one that'll be popping up showing what it looked like last year. We do live in north central Texas, so without a lot of shade, so we did want to provide ample shade for our kids. I decided after taking the PVC canopy apart last year that I was not going to put it back up this year, but still wanted to provide some shade, so I'll show you what we have done with that, and also what we did with the ground after year one of the pool. So as you can see by the picture, once we took the pool down, because it is a seasonal pool, I didn't want to winterize it or anything like that. We did take it down. As you can see, it left a pretty big just dirt area. If we do, or when we do move, we want to make sure that that area is an area that will be more suitable for other activities other than just the pool. So we went ahead and just added in, had some guys come in and put a little bit bigger than the whole perimeter of the pool. I think it's just called Texas stones, so rocks. Kept the elevation of the ground so that water flow would continue to flow the way it needs to run in rain, but we do have the ability obviously to move and shift the rocks around, which would then allow us to level out the pool. So I'm going to start here with the pump. Now I did buy a second pump. I bought an upgrade. I think it's the biggest one that is recommended or advised for this size pool. I've got a link to it. I bought it through Lowe's. It was just the quickest availability whenever I was purchasing it or wanted to purchase it, and it just provides better flow for the water as far as filtering, and also for the skimmer basket that I had right here. Now we did have one that hung over the side of the pool. I'm sure you probably have seen pictures of those, you may even order those. I saw that that did not work as well as this one. Now all the stuff around, so when I installed this last year, it was after the pool was already filled, and so I just could not get a good seal on it. So this is actually construction graded sealant that I put on this year. I'm not sure exactly if I'm going to attempt to take this off. So what I would recommend is, if you were going to do something replacing all the tubes like I did with PVC, just make sure that you leave connections where you can actually disconnect everything. So these types of connections right here, I've got one there, I've got one there, one up there. And what's going to kill me is leaving this connected here. Is I've got this whole thing connected here. So what I'm probably going to do is just cut an angle here and put a connection here to where I can then just have really this piece right here and down to that piece right there. That'll be easier to store in our shed than this whole long piece right here. What you also want to do is, if you have PVC, now I've got this completely shut off. Sometimes you do need to empty this extra skimmer basket down here, or you do want to take this top off to clean out the top of your pump if it gets clogged with, if you have, especially if like little leaves or little things that fall into it, it will get clogged up in there, so you may want to take that off. You want to make sure that you've got these ball valves or some type of a valve where you can turn off all points of water that would be coming into your pump. So I've got two right here for this, and then we've got that one up there that actually came with the pool, so that is part of the original system. This extra piece I have right here is just a little waterfall feature. I did have it originally going straight up here and just kind of dangling right here above the top of the pool, but when I went ahead and did is I wanted to secure it, and actually I wanted to have it on the other side of where the water was going back into the pool, just to make sure that the water was circulating all the way around and not getting stopped here in the middle. So I did extend it, and then I just secured it right there. So I'll go ahead and get this on, and whenever I turn these on, you will hear the water start to come through. So I'm going to turn this one back to all the way. Turn this one on. See that start to rush in there. And I'll turn this other one on here. I'm going to let some air out so it'll fill up. Just about that point. And now I'm going to turn it on. Now after I turn it on, I'm going to open this up again just to get some of the air flow out. And then just try to get as much air out as you can. Now with these pumps, these do allow you to set a timer. However, you can't manually set a timer on here. It essentially recognizes the time that you turned it on. And however many hours you set it for per the instructions of the pump, it will turn back on 24 hours after you initially turned it on and keep that cycle. Now that's not always such a good idea or the best scenario, especially if you want to do some maintenance. You need to turn it off because you want to do some backwashing, or if there was a power outage. So our electricity went out one night. And when it came back on, the pool pump came back on because it just turned it back on. So what I ended up doing is I've got the cord running all the way to, let's walk around the long way of the pool. Excuse all the dead grass. We've got a drought going on in Texas right now, and I do not have a sprinkler system. I will in a couple of weeks. It's going to be a nice chunk of change spent there. But what I ended up doing with the cords, and you'll see a few different ones here, I ran them back into, I knew I needed to run them into something. I ended up just buying a box, a Tupperware box. And so this is where I've got them just protected. So what this is right here is actually a smart plug, which has my pump plugged into it. So I can set that smart plug to come on and to turn off at a certain time. And then that way it allows me to control that, and I don't have to worry about the electricity. So if I ever need to go out and just do any maintenance on the pump, I can just turn it off from my phone, or actually I can just turn it off at the pump, turn it back on, or if it's in the off hours, I can turn it on manually from my pump and turn it on manually from my phone, then turn on the pump, and then I'm good to go. Now I originally had the waterfall feature, which I have here, right here, but what I was noticing is that with it being after this, I couldn't control this flow and that one separately, and so I just wasn't getting a lot of pressure. But what you'll see here is that is fully open. So now with this one, if I actually turn this where I'm kind of closing it, you can actually see I'll be able to increase that if we wanted to, just for the kids to have something to kind of splash around in, or just open it all the way. So now this is fully open, and now we're just getting some flow. That just helps circulate the water. It also helps kind of cool it off to get it in the air. So that's one thing that we did there. Now when we set up the pool, obviously the first thing that you're going to want to do is fill it after you've got it where you know you want it to be. I struggled with this last year. The first time, so I ended up just buying this little, or not buying it, but I bought the PVC and created this little contraption right here, so that whenever I turn on my water and I set it to this one right here, let's turn these off so we get there. And I've got something here that's going to hold this in place, and the hose is not going to end up on the ground like I found it a bunch of times. Now on the initial filling up of the pool, since we're going to be adding chemicals and everything to it, I don't use this filter, but this is just a regular RV marine filter that I put on after I initially fill up the whole pool with water. And then that way, whenever you're putting pool or water in, you know you're putting in clean water. You're not putting anything with any minerals or anything that just might be in the water, so you're just starting off with as fresh water as you can. So that's one of the things I did right there. The other things that you see right here are, I don't have a sprinkler system, but I do have soaker hoses that are buried all around my house, so I control those from here. I've also got another one here that actually goes to a PVC that runs out to a garden, and then this is just my regular hose right here, so I can control all of those firm right there. And then here is my water hose out here. So so once you've got everything ready for the pool, the ladder that comes with the Intex pool is this one right here. Now we don't really use it, but we've kept it. We just have it down here at this end, one for the kids, and able just to be able to climb up and access this other PVC thing that I created, just to hold some tubes in place, just to be able to access it. But for any good size adult, this is not, I would say, the sturdiest ladder or the best ladder to use to get in and out of the pool. There's a lot of options out there. I did a lot of research, and what I ended up doing was I knew I wanted to build a deck or some type of deck. Now I've got two pieces of it. I'm eventually going to have another piece that's going to come off of this one and come about right here, about halfway in the pool. Not necessarily to access the pool, but just to have a place to kind of sit around and chat, have a place to hold drinks. That's important with the pool. But what I ended up doing was I built this first piece here. So this was actually done in 3 stages. I put the stairs together, figured out how high they needed to be level. Ended up building the second piece right here, which is the main part, and then I added this third piece, which was just a 3-stepper up to this ladder. This ladder I did buy through Amazon. It did come from a company up in Canada. It does have a little blue, you can see it over there, pad. It's taken every once in a while to clean it. But this is a pretty good sturdy ladder to get in and out of the pool for us big people. The other thing that I have done is I do have 2 different types of cleaners for the pool. One of them actually looks like it got stuck down here. I believe the company is called Aiper, A-I-P-E-R, I think that's it. I'll have a link to it. It seems to be a pretty good little robot vacuum. I don't use it all the time. Sometimes I just really don't need it if it's not too bad, but every once in a while I will, just to make sure I get the middle parts of the pool to clean that out. The other thing that I purchased, and this is just kind of part of it, but it's just this jacuzzi vacuum cleaner. You just connect it to the end of your pole, and then it's got obviously the little basket thing that goes inside, and then the vacuum part of it. I've just got those over here, but it actually works really well. It'll capture, this was just from some stuff this morning. It'll actually capture a whole bunch of stuff in here. One of the guys at the pool place recommended that if you end up getting like a lot of sand or something in your pool, you can always put, he just recommended buying a lady's pantyhose and just put inside of this and just wrap it over, and it'll help collect some of that sand so maybe it doesn't seep out through here. There's a few other things that we want to do now for shade, and I'll have the picture up as well. We did buy these 2 pretty large umbrellas. We got them from Lowe's. I'm sure you can get the same ones from other places. They are LED solar light. Those are those white strips you see underneath. So those were the other things that were plugged into that box, as well as the power sources for both the robot vacuum and the jacuzzi vacuum as well. Now for backwashing and stuff, I went ahead and I kept that cord or that hose connected. Now I did secure this down here, so I want to show you that as well, and I've got straps securing the other one down as well, just in case, you never know. Now for backwashing, I did keep this connected here. And as you can see, it ties into PVC right there, down around there, and then right underneath that filter it does connect to the hose, which actually ends right here. I just have it kind of wrapped around the pool. I do have a cap down here somewhere that I usually put on this just to keep, you know, any, oh, here it is, any critters or anything, small bugs, just whatever. It's gotten a little lazy here the last few days. You can see how many leaves we've been collecting in the pool just from our drought down here. But I just have a hose here. One, you can run it to an additional place, but there wasn't really any need to do that, so I just got it running off in the rocks right here, and it really just kind of evaporates before it gets anywhere. I'm not worried about it killing the grass or anything like that. So so that's what I did for the backwash, just to keep that hose connected so you don't always have to connect it either. So that is our pool this year. Like I said, I'm going to add another section of the deck. We will keep this down. Another section of the deck. We will keep this down, or take this down when the season ends. I usually get all of it in that smaller shed right there. There's some of those extra PVC from that the big blue thing that you saw from last year. I just have them around. You never know when you're going to need extra pieces of wood or PVC. But there's just, there's a bunch of different things that you can do. Obviously, if y'all have any ideas for comfort, drink holders, anything y'all want to send me, I would highly appreciate it. Oh, one other thing I did want to point out, just on the side of the pool, I don't know if I ever need these, but just for protection, I did put some pool noodles here. Just you never know when things might shift, or when things might, end up getting a little bit too close, and just for safety purposes as well, just to protect that from the pool. And here are those straps I was talking about, holding down this umbrella right here. So if you have any questions, definitely don't hesitate to ask. I've learned a lot over the last couple of years. Like not to leave the water running. Glad I saw that. Go turn that off, because I really don't need to add any more water right now. Thing with the water level, you do want to make sure it is at least just above, if not more, than the filtration back into the pool. Now, if you do get it too high, and I kind of wish I would have put this up just a little bit higher, it does make that to where the water just doesn't flow into it if it is too high. So where it is about right now is really kind of the ideal level for that. So kind of use that as my guide as far as my water level goes and everything like that. So again, if you have any questions or any tips for me as well, I would appreciate it.